Suspend yourself now in the warm, heavy air. We are not yet touching the earth. We are floating high above the emerald expanse, in a space where the boundaries of the world begin to blur. Before we can understand the trees, or the roots, or the dark, fertile soil, we must first understand the air itself. In most places on this planet, the air is thin and dry, a transparent void that separates you from the sky. But here, over the great rainforests of the world, over the Amazon, the Congo, the Daintree, the air is a substance. It has weight. It has texture. It holds you. Imagine lifting your hand in this space. You can almost feel the resistance of the humidity, a soft, warm pressure against your skin. This is not empty space. It is a suspension of water and life. We are floating in the breath of the world. We begin our journey here, in the white and the gray and the mist, to witness a phenomenon that is invisible to the eye but essential to the soul of the planet. We are here to witness the flying rivers. The flying rivers. Below us lies the mightiest river on earth, the Amazon. It is a brown, muscular serpent winding its way through the green continent, carrying a volume of water that staggers the imagination. But what few realize is that above this brown river, there is a second river. It flows in silence. It has no banks, no bed, and no surface. It is a river of vapor, a colossal stream of humidity moving through the atmosphere. Scientists call them flying rivers. Visualize this aerial current. It is vast, wider than the Amazon itself, stretching for thousands of miles. It is born from the ocean, carried by the trade winds, but it is fed by the forest. As we drift within it, there is no sound of rushing water. There is no crashing of waves. There is only the sensation of being wrapped in a warm, damp towel. This vapor is the lifeblood of the atmosphere. It is fresh water, liberated from gravity, floating in microscopic droplets. It travels across the sky like a silent caravan, carrying rain to distant lands that would otherwise be deserts. Feel the moisture on your face. It is warm, tepid, comforting. It is the temperature of the body. In this river of the sky, you are never cold. You are held in a perpetual embrace of warmth. The flying river is a slow-moving giant. It does not rush like the water on the ground. It drifts. It meanders. It bumps gently against the Andes Mountains in the west, turning south, spreading its moisture like a blessing over the continent. To exist within this river is to surrender to the flow. You do not need to swim, the air itself carries you. It creates a ceiling of soft white clouds that act as a shield against the harsh sun. These are not the dark, bruising storm clouds of a tempest, they are the fluffy, cotton wool clouds of the humid tropics. They diffuse the light. Look up. The sun is not a burning ball of fire here, it is a glowing pearl behind a veil of white silk. The light that reaches you is soft, scattered, and shadowless. It is a light that does not demand focus. It allows the eyes to rest. This humidity acts as a muffler for the world. Sound travels differently in damp air. It feels closer, more intimate. The distant calls of macaws or the rumble of thunder miles away are softened, rounded off by the moisture. The flying river absorbs the sharp edges of the sonic landscape, leaving only a low, rhythmic hum. This is the first layer of the green cathedral. It is the roof. And this roof is made of water. The breath of the leaves. But where does all this water come from? To answer this, we must lower our gaze. We must descend slowly, drifting down from the high currents until we are hovering just above the endless carpet of green. We are looking at the canopy, the roof of the forest. From here, it looks like a solid surface, a rolling sea of broccoli florets stretching to the horizon. But if we look closer, at the individual leaves, we witness a miracle of biology. We witness the great exhalation. Every single tree in this forest is a fountain. Deep down in the dark earth, the roots are drinking. They are pulling water from the soil, cool, mineral-rich water. This water travels up the trunk, defying gravity, climbing hundreds of feet through the veins of the wood, until it reaches the leaves. And there, the leaf releases it. On the underside of every leaf, there are microscopic pores called stomata. Think of them as tiny mouths. When the sun hits the leaf, these mouths open. They breathe out oxygen, yes, but they also breathe out water vapor. This process is called transpiration. It is a scientific word, but let us think of it as the sweating of the forest. It is the cooling mechanism of the planet. Imagine the scale of this. A single large tree can release hundreds of gallons of water into the air in a single day. Now, multiply that by the billions of trees that stretch out below us. Exhale. Can you feel it? The forest is sighing. It is a collective, rhythmic release. Exhale. As the water leaves the trees, it rises. It is lighter than air. It spirals up in invisible columns of mist, joining the flying rivers above. This rising vapor creates a suction that pulls more water up from the roots. It is a continuous, silent pump, powered by the sun. This exhalation creates a microclimate of coolness. If you were to touch the surface of a leaf right now, it would feel cool to the touch, like the skin of a melon taken out of the fridge. The evaporation steals the heat from the air. This is why the rainforest feels so stable. The trees are air conditioning the world. They are regulating the temperature, keeping it in that perfect, drowsy range where life thrives but does not burn. Visualize this mist rising from the canopy. It looks like steam coming off a calm lake in the morning. Wisps of white vapor curl up from the green ocean, twisting and turning in slow motion. They are the spirits of the water, returning to the sky. There is a profound peace in watching this process. It is effortless. The tree does not struggle to pump the water. It simply opens its leaves to the light, and the water flows. It is a lesson in allowing. The tree allows the sun to work. It allows the water to rise. It allows the vapor to leave. It holds on to nothing. The water that was in the soil yesterday is in the sky today, and will be rain tomorrow. The forest is a conduit. It is a bridge between the earth and the heavens. As we hover here, bathed in the breath of the leaves, we feel a sense of connection. We are breathing the same air that the trees are creating. The moisture in your lungs is the same moisture that traveled up the trunk of a mahogany tree. We are part of the cycle. We are inside the lung. The cloud forest. Now, let us drift sideways. We follow the flying river as it moves towards the mountains. The terrain below us begins to rise. The flat lowlands give way to rolling hills, and then to steep, green slopes. We are ascending into the cloud forest. This is a special province of the Rainforest Kingdom. It is where the flying river crashes into the earth. Here, The mountains are so high that they sit permanently inside the clouds. The distinction between rain and air disappears. The air is water. It is a world of eternal white twilight. The visibility drops. The vast vistas of the lowland forest are gone, replaced by a cozy, intimate gray-white fog that wraps around everything. The silence here is absolute. The heavy mist acts as the ultimate soundproofing. It dampens every noise. A bird calls, and the sound travels only a few feet before vanishing into the cotton wool. In the cloud forest, the trees are different. They are shorter, twisted, gnarled by the wind. And they are covered, completely covered, in moss. Because the air is saturated with water, the trees do not just drink with their roots, they drink with their bark. Every branch, every twig, every trunk is wrapped in a thick, soft, green sponge of moss and epiphytes. Reaching out in your mind, touch this moss. It is impossibly soft. It is deep. Your fingers sink into it an inch, 2 inches. It is soaking wet. If you press it, clear, cold water runs down your hand. The moss is the sponge of the mountains. It catches the passing clouds. It combs the water out of the air. Drip, drip, drip. Even when it is not raining, the cloud forest is dripping. The water condenses on the leaves, on the moss, on the spiderwebs, and falls to the forest floor. It is a slow, rhythmic percussion. This is the quietest place on earth. The wind cannot move through the dense vegetation. The sun cannot pierce the veil of mist. It is a place of suspended animation. Ideally, sleep requires a cooling of the body and a dimming of the light. The cloud forest offers exactly this. The temperature here is cooler than the lowlands, a perfect, crisp 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius. It is sweater weather. It is blanket weather. Imagine lying down on a bed of that thick, soft moss. It contours to your body. It holds you. The air around you is white and still. You cannot see the world below, you cannot see the sky above. You are cocooned in the mist. There is no time in the cloud forest. The fog obscures the position of the sun. Is it morning? Is it afternoon? It doesn't matter. It is simply now. The trees here look like ancient guardians, bearded with lichen, looming out of the fog and fading back into it. They stand still, drinking the cloud, drinking the silence. This is the birthplace of the rivers. The water that drips from the moss trickles into tiny rivulets, which join to form streams, which cascade down the mountain to become the Amazon. But here, at the source, the water is not rushing. It is merely coalescing. It is gathering itself. Feel the dampness on your cheeks. It is a refreshing, cleansing dampness. It hydrates the skin. It calms the nerves. The high-altitude air is thin and pure. Every breath feels like a cleansing wash for the insides. The cloud forest teaches us the beauty of the blur. In our waking lives, we want clarity. We want to see far ahead. We want sharp lines. But here, we cannot see far. We can only see what is right in front of us. And that is enough. A single orchid glowing purple in the mist. A fern unfurling its fiddlehead. A droplet of water hanging from a leaf tip, reflecting the gray world. The mist forces us to focus on the immediate, on the small, on the present. It shrinks the world down to a manageable size. It creates a sanctuary of privacy. We linger here for a moment, in the cool, white hush. We let the humidity seep into our pores. We let the silence settle in our ears. We are no longer separate from the atmosphere. We are damp. We are heavy. We are slow. The ocean in the sky has accepted us. We are floating in its currents, drifting slowly away from the mountains, back towards the center of the green sea. We have felt the weight of the air. We have felt the breath of the leaves. We have felt the embrace of the cloud. The atmosphere is set. The humidity is at 100%. The temperature is perfect. The light is dim. Now, we are ready to descend. We are ready to leave the white world of the mist and drop down to the first layer of the solid forest. We are ready to meet the giants that poke their heads through the clouds. But for now, just drift. Drift in the white. Drift in the flying river. The air is holding you. You are safe in the breath of the world. Chapter 2, The Islands in the Sun. We leave the cool, white embrace of the mist. We have drifted through the cloud forest, where the air was water and the silence was heavy. Now, we follow the light. We rise up, pushing through the last wisps of vapor, until we break the surface. Suddenly, the world opens up. The gray ceiling dissolves into a brilliant, endless dome of blue. We have arrived at the very roof of the world. We are in the emergent layer. To understand this place, you must change your sense of scale. Below us lies the canopy, a dense, unbroken carpet of green that stretches to the horizon. It looks like a solid floor. But rising out of this green floor, separated by vast distances, are the true kings of the rainforest. They are the solitary giants. The solitary giants. Imagine an ocean. The canopy is the water, rolling and undulating in the breeze. And rising from this water are islands. These islands are the tops of the tallest trees on earth, the kapok, the mahogany, the Brazil nut. They are architectural marvels. While the trees below are fighting for every inch of space, locking branches in a crowded struggle for light, these giants have transcended the competition. They have punched through the ceiling. They stand alone, their heads bathed in unobstructed sunlight, 200 feet above the dark, damp floor of the forest. Let us approach a massive kapok tree. It is a cathedral of wood. Its trunk is not a simple cylinder, it is a fortress. At the base, far, far below us, it is supported by massive buttress roots that flare out like the fins of a rocket, anchoring it against the storms. But up here, at the crown, the shape is different. The branches do not reach up, they reach out. They spread horizontally, creating a massive, flat-topped umbrella that can span wider than a football field. Because they are so high, and because they are so alone, these trees do not touch their neighbors. There is a profound sense of isolation here. A kapok tree might be half a mile away from the next kapok tree. They are lonely sentinels, guarding the sea of green. Visualize the bark of these giants. It is often pale, smooth, and silver white. In the intense tropical sun, dark bark would absorb too much heat and cook the delicate cambium layers inside. So, the tree wears white. It reflects the sun, staying cool even as it drinks the light. Rest your mind on one of these massive branches. It is thick, solid, and moss-free. Unlike the cloud forest below, the air here is drier and windier. The orchids and mosses that choke the lower branches cannot survive this exposure. The giant is clean. It is stripped bare by the elements. It stands in a state of triumphant stillness. It has won the race. It has reached the source. After decades of struggle in the shadows below, it has finally found its place in the sun. It does not need to grow up anymore, it only needs to exist. The wind's lullaby. In the deep forest floor, the air is still. A candle flame would not flicker. But up here, in the emergent layer, the air is alive. This is the realm of the trade winds. These are not violent gusts, they are steady, planetary currents that have traveled across the Atlantic Ocean to reach this canopy. When they hit the solitary giants, they create a sound that is unique to this altitude. Listen. Whoosh, S-E-H. It is the sound of the ocean. The wind filters through the millions of small, leathery leaves of the giant, creating a white noise that washes over the mind. It is a continuous, rhythmic rushing sound. And with the sound comes the movement. You might think that a tree this size is rigid, like a stone tower. But if it were rigid, it would snap. The giant survives because it dances. Close your eyes and imagine you are perched on the highest branch. Feel the sway. Lean, and return. Lean, and return. The movement is slow and hypnotic. The entire crown of the tree traces a gentle circle in the sky. It rocks you. It is a cradle suspended 20 stories above the earth. This swaying is the lullaby of the rainforest. It triggers a primal memory of being held, of being rocked to sleep. The tree is not fighting the wind, it is cooperating with it. It leans into the breeze, absorbing the energy, and gently swings back to center. Sway. The wood groans softly. It is a low, creaking sound, the sound of fibers stretching and compressing. It is the voice of the tree, murmuring in its sleep. The wind here is warm, but it brings a freshness that does not exist below. It carries the scent of ozone and distant rain. It dries the sweat on your skin. It clears the head. Up here, you are above the humidity. You are above the insect buzz. There is only the wind, the sun, and the sway. Allow yourself to drift with the motion of the tree. Left, right. Forward, back. It is the heartbeat of the sky. The view from the top. From our perch on the swaying branch, we look down. This is the view that the eagle sees. This is the view that the sun sees. Below us lies the green ocean. It is the most complex ecosystem on the planet, but from here, it looks like a single, unified thing. It is a textured carpet of emerald, jade, olive, and lime. The colors shift and shimmer as the clouds pass overhead, casting drifting shadows that glide across the canopy like ships. You cannot see the ground. The ground is a rumor. The ground is a memory. There is only the roof. The scale of it creates a feeling of expansion in the chest. The forest goes on forever. To the north, green. To the south, green. To the east and west, green meeting the blue sky. This vastness is soothing. It reminds us of our own smallness. The problems that seemed so large on the ground, the deadlines, the worries, the details, are invisible from this height. The forest swallows them. Watch the life of the emergent layer. It is a different society up here. A pair of macaws flies past, far below you. You are looking down at their colorful backs, scarlet, blue, and gold. They are screaming to each other, but the wind carries the sound away, making it faint and distant. A morpho butterfly, the size of a dinner plate, flaps lazily over the sea of leaves. Its wings are iridescent blue, flashing like a signal mirror. Flash, flash. They are the citizens of the sun. They do not know the darkness of the forest floor. They live their whole lives in the light. But the most powerful presence here is the sun itself. In the rainforest, the sun is not just a light source, it is an engine. You can feel the energy hitting the leaves. It is a silent roar of production. Every single leaf below you is a solar panel. They are all turned upwards, drinking the light, turning it into sugar, turning it into wood, turning it into oxygen. Visualize this chemistry. It is happening silently, on a massive scale. The forest is eating the sunlight. It is taking the golden energy of the star and turning it into the cool green matter of the earth. This is the solar harvest. As you sit in the crown of the kapok tree, you are sitting in the middle of a feast. The tree is happy. It is full of sugar. It is growing. It is thriving. There is a deep contentment in this biological success. The tree has done its work. It has reached the goal. Now, it just stands there, bathing in the reward. Soak up that feeling of accomplishment. You have climbed the mountain. You have reached the top. You are warm. You are safe. The wind rocks you. The sun warms you. The green ocean spreads out below you, cushioning you from the world. There is nowhere else to go. You are at the peak. Just breathe. Breathe in the clean, high-altitude air. Breathe out the worry. Sway, and return. Sway, and return. The giant holds you. You are an island in the sun. And the sea is calm. We stay here for a while, soaking in the light, letting the wind dry our wings. But we cannot stay forever. The rainforest is deep, and its true secrets lie not in the bright sun, but in the dappled shadows below. We must prepare to descend. We must prepare to dive under the waves of the green ocean and enter the mysterious, sheltered world of the canopy. But for now, just for this moment, stay in the light. Close your eyes. Feel the sway. You are flying. You are free. Chapter 3, The Emerald Ceiling. We have drifted high above the world in the flying rivers of vapor. We have sat perched on the swaying branches of the solitary giants, bathed in the unobstructed sunlight of the emergent layer. Now, the time has come to dive. We leave the bright, windy rooftop of the rainforest and descend into the depths of the ocean of leaves. We slip beneath the surface. As we drop down 60, 70, 80 feet, the world changes instantly. The blinding white light of the sun is extinguished. The wind dies away. The air becomes still, humid, and heavy. We have arrived in the canopy. This is the engine room of the rainforest. It is the busiest layer, yet it operates in a state of suspended silence. It is a continuous, thick layer of vegetation, roughly 20 feet deep, that acts as the ceiling for the world below and the floor for the world above. To be here is to be inside a kaleidoscope of green. It is not a single color, it is a million variations of color. lime, jade, olive, emerald, moss, fern, chartreuse. The light that filters through is stained glass light. It is soft, diffused, and flattering. It bathes everything in a cool, underwater glow. The great interlocking. Look up. Look at the way the trees fit together. In the waking world, we are used to seeing trees as separate individuals, surrounded by empty space. But here, the density is so high that the trees are locked in a permanent embrace. However, if you look closely at the silhouette of the leaves against the sky, you will notice a mysterious and beautiful phenomenon. Science calls it crown shyness. It is a poetic name for a geometric miracle. Millions of trees are growing side by side, reaching desperately for the same sunlight. They are competitors. And yet, they are polite. Observe the boundary where the crown of one massive tree meets the crown of another. The branches reach out, extending their leaves as far as possible. But just inches before they touch their neighbor, they stop. They leave a gap. It creates a winding, river-like channel of negative space between the trees. From below, it looks like a giant jigsaw puzzle that has been pulled slightly apart. The sky shines through these cracks, creating a network of glowing blue veins that trace the outlines of each individual tree. Why do they do this? It is a form of communication. The trees sense each other. Some scientists believe they detect the chemical signals from their neighbors' leaves. Others believe that the wind, brushing the delicate tips of the branches against each other, acts as a signal to stop growing. "I am here," the branch says. "I will stop," the neighbor replies. It is a treaty of light. By leaving these channels open, the trees ensure that everyone gets a share of the sun. They ensure that the airflow can reach the lower layers. They ensure that the crawling insects cannot bridge the gap too easily. It is a lesson in boundaries. It is a lesson in respect. Visualize this pattern extending for thousands of miles. A vast, intricate mosaic of green tiles separated by thin lines of light. It is a masterpiece of natural geometry. Lie back in your mind and trace these lines. They are fractal rivers. They are cracks in the emerald ceiling. They shift gently as the wind moves the canopy, opening and closing like breathing pores. Open and close. Open and close. The light that falls through these cracks is not a solid beam. It is a dancing, sun fleck. It travels down to the forest floor like a spotlight, moving across the ground as the sun moves across the sky. But here, in the canopy, the light is caught. It is held. Gardens in the air. As we look around at the massive limbs of the canopy trees, we notice something strange. The bark is invisible. In a temperate forest, an oak or a maple forest, the branches are bare skin. But in the rainforest, the branches are furred. They are upholstered. They are buried under a riot of life. These are the epiphytes. The air plants. They are the gardens that hang in the sky. An epiphyte is a plant that has abandoned the earth. It has realized that the ground is too dark, too crowded, and too far away from the sun. So, it has evolved to hitch a ride. It grows on the branches of the giants. It is not a parasite. It does not steal from the tree. It simply uses the tree as a chair. Look at the sheer volume of this hanging garden. A single rainforest tree can hold tons of epiphytes. It wears them like a heavy, green coat. There are ferns with leaves like lace, draping down 10 feet towards the ground. There are orchids, bursting with alien flowers of purple and vanilla, clinging to the rough bark with white, fleshy roots. There are cacti, hanging like green chains. And most impressive of all, there are the bromeliads. Let us focus on a bromeliad. It looks like the top of a pineapple, a stiff rosette of sword-like leaves. But it is more than a plant, it is a water tank. The leaves of the bromeliad are arranged in a tight spiral to form a central cup. This cup is watertight. When it rains, and it always rains here, the cup fills with water. Peer inside this suspended pool. High above the ground, 60 feet in the air, there is a miniature lake. In this lake, mosquitoes lay their eggs. Tiny crabs live there. Salamanders visit to rehydrate. And there is a specific type of frog, the strawberry poison dart frog, that carries its tadpoles on its back, climbing the massive tree just to deposit them in this safe, private nursery. The canopy is an ocean of these tiny pools. Millions of gallons of water are suspended in the air, held in the arms of the flowers. Imagine the weight of it. The branch holds the garden. The garden holds the water. The water holds the life. And how do they eat, these plants with no soil? They eat the air. They eat the dust. They catch the falling leaves from the trees above them, which rot into a thin layer of compost on the branch. They are masters of efficiency. They turn the debris of the forest into the most delicate, beautiful flowers on earth. Visualize the texture of this world. It is soft. It is furry. Everywhere you look, there is moss. Moss covering the orchids. Moss covering the ferns. Moss covering the moss. It acts as a giant sponge. It absorbs the sound. It absorbs the moisture. If you were to rest your head on a canopy branch, it would be softer than any pillow in your bedroom. It is cool, damp, and smells of wet earth and sweet nectar. It is a cradle in the sky. The solar harvest. While the structure of the canopy is beautiful, its purpose is functional. We are standing inside the largest solar power plant in the galaxy. Every single leaf you see, and there are trillions of them, is a worker. They are engaged in the silent, miraculous work of photosynthesis. We learned about this in school, but we often forget the magic of it. We forget that it is the only reason we are alive. Let us slow down time and witness the alchemy. A photon of light, which was born in the fusion core of the Sun 1,000,000 years ago, travels across space. It enters the atmosphere. It dodges the clouds. It threads the needle between the leaves of the emergent layer. And it strikes a single, broad leaf in the canopy. The leaf is ready. Inside its cells, there are tiny green factories called chloroplasts. They contain chlorophyll, the pigment that makes the world green. When the photon hits the chlorophyll, it rings like a bell. It excites an electron. Ping. This energy is captured instantly. The leaf takes a molecule of water, sent up from the roots, and a molecule of carbon dioxide, plucked from the air, and uses this solar energy to smash them together. It is a violent chemical reaction, but it happens in total silence. The result is sugar. Glucose. The sweet, energy-rich fuel of life. The leaf creates this sugar and sends it flowing down its veins, into the branch, down the trunk, to feed the roots and the fruit. And as a waste product, as a casual afterthought, the leaf releases a molecule of oxygen. Exhale. Breathe in. That breath you just took. It was made here. The canopy is the lung that keeps the animal kingdom alive. Visualize the scale of this production. As the sun moves across the sky, the entire forest is eating. It is drinking the light. Hum. You cannot hear it with your ears, but you can feel it with your spirit. It is a low-frequency vibration of growth. The forest is getting bigger, heavier, sweeter, and richer by the second. The air around you is thick with this oxygen. It is hyperoxygenated. It makes you feel sleepy and high at the same time. It is clean. It has been scrubbed of poisons and recharged with life. In the canopy, the temperature is hot, but the leaves are cool. They are sweating to keep the machinery running. The humidity is rising. This is the solar harvest. It is the daily ritual of turning the golden, intangible energy of a star into the solid, physical matter of a tree. The wood of the tree is literally made of light. When you touch a tree trunk, you are touching solid sunlight. As the afternoon wears on, the harvest slows down. The sun dips lower. The angle of the light changes. The sun flecks on the floor lengthen and fade. The canopy prepares for the evening. The flowers of the epiphytes close their petals to protect their nectar. The leaves of the legumes fold up in a prayer position, a phenomenon called nyctinasty, to go to sleep. The great engine powers down. We are suspended here, in the green twilight. The puzzle of the crown shyness is silhouetted against a darkening blue sky. The hanging gardens of the bromeliads are full of water, waiting for the frogs to wake up. The sugar is stored in the wood. It is a place of infinite complexity, yet infinite peace. The canopy is a shelter. It protects the earth from the sun. It protects the earth from the wind. And tonight, it protects you. You are tucked inside the emerald ceiling. The leaves are above you. The leaves are below you. The leaves are beside you. You are hidden. You are safe. You are breathing the breath of the forest. The light is fading now. The green is turning to black. The silence is deepening. The harvest is done. Rest. Chapter 4, The Symphony of Falling Water. The sky above the green cathedral has changed. The brilliant, unobstructed blue of the emergent layer has been swallowed by a rolling tide of gray. The flying rivers of vapor we visited in the first chapter have coalesced, growing heavy, dense, and dark. The air pressure drops. The humidity rises until the atmosphere feels thick enough to swim in. The forest holds its breath. Then, it begins. It does not begin with a crash, but with a whisper. A single drop, released from the heavy belly of a nimbus cloud, begins its long plummet toward the earth. We are entering the chapter of the rain. But in the rainforest, rain is not merely weather, it is an event. It is a performance. It is a complex, vertical symphony played by gravity on an orchestra of leaves. The interception. Let us follow the journey of this single traveler, the first drop. It falls through the open air above the forest, accelerating, perfectly spherical, reflecting the gray sky in its tiny, liquid mirror. If this drop were falling on a city pavement, it would strike with violence. It would shatter. It would rush to the gutter and disappear. But here, the earth is shielded. The drop strikes the canopy. Specifically, it strikes the broad, waxy leaf of a rubber tree, 100 feet above the ground. Slap. The sound is sharp, but the impact is soft. The leaf acts as a trampoline. It bows under the sudden weight, absorbing the kinetic energy of the fall. The drop does not shatter, it explodes into a crown of smaller droplets, or perhaps it flattens and clings to the green surface. This is the phenomenon of interception. The rainforest is a massive braking system. It prevents the water from hitting the soil at full speed. Instead, it catches the water and passes it down, hand over hand, leaf over leaf, like a bucket brigade. Watch the water on the leaf. The surface of the leaf is hydrophobic, it repels water. It is coated in a sleek, waxy cuticle that shines like polished leather. The water cannot soak in. It must move. Gravity takes hold again. The water gathers itself. It slides across the green plane of the leaf, moving faster and faster towards the edge. It spills over, falling through the air again. But it only falls for 3 feet. Splash. It hits a palm frond in the subcanopy. This time, the sound is different. It is deeper. The palm frond is rigid and ribbed like a fan. The water is channeled into the grooves, racing down the spine of the leaf towards the trunk. From the palm, it drips onto a fern. From the fern, it drips onto a mossy branch. From the branch, it drips onto a bromeliad. This is the Great Cascade. The rain is being dismantled. The chaotic, vertical rush of the storm is being converted into a complex, horizontal shuffle. Visualize the sheer scale of this interception. Millions of gallons of water are falling from the sky right now, but almost none of it is touching the ground yet. It is all suspended in the architecture of the trees. The forest is wearing the rain like a heavy, shimmering coat. The bark of the trees turns black with moisture. The moss swells, turning from a dry, pale green to a vibrant, glowing emerald. The lichens expand. The air is filled with a fine mist, the splashback from a billion collisions. This mist hangs in the air, cooling the temperature, carrying the scent of ozone and wet bark. To be inside this process is to be inside a machine of infinite complexity. The water is moving everywhere. It is running down the spiral grooves of the lianas. It is pooling in the hollows of the branches. It is trickling down the rough furrows of the mahogany trunks. It is a chaotic movement, yet it is utterly controlled. The forest knows how to handle the water. It welcomes it. It slows it down. It treats every drop as a guest that must be greeted by 1,000 leaves before it is allowed to rest on the floor. The drip tips. As we watch the water moving through the vegetation, we notice a peculiar design feature that is repeated over and over again. Look closely at the shape of the leaves around you. Whether it is a ficus, a philodendron, or a wild cacao, they all share a similar silhouette. They are oval, but at the very end, they taper into a long, slender, drooping point. These are the drip tips. Nature is a master engineer, and the drip tip is one of its most elegant inventions. In a climate where it rains every day, a leaf faces a dangerous problem. If water sits on the surface of the leaf for too long, it blocks the sunlight. It clogs the pores, stomata, that the leaf uses to breathe. Even worse, standing water is a breeding ground for fungus, moss, and bacteria. If a leaf stays wet, it rots. So, the leaf must dry itself. The drip tip is the drain. It functions like a spout on a pitcher. Watch the water sliding down the veins of a leaf. It is funneled towards the center, then towards the tip. Because the tip is so narrow, the water cannot cling to it. The surface tension is broken. Gather. Elongate. Drop. Tap. The movement is rhythmic. It is precise. Imagine a single tree with 10,000 leaves. Each leaf is equipped with a drip tip. As the storm passes, the tree becomes a massive musical instrument. 10,000 spouts are releasing water at slightly different intervals. Tap, tap, plip, plop, tap. It creates a polyrhythmic beat. It is a natural metronome. This sound is the heartbeat of the rainforest rain. It is not the roar of the wind, it is the steady, percussive ticking of the drip tips. Close your eyes and listen to it. Tap. A heavy drop hitting a broad leaf. Plink. A drop falling into a pool of water. Hiss. A fine spray hitting dry leaves. This is the green noise. It is more complex than white noise. It has texture. It has depth. It is hypnotic because it is repetitive, but it is never boring because it is random. The drip tip allows the forest to shed its burden. It allows the leaf to dry off within minutes of the rain stopping, so it can go back to the work of eating sunlight. But while the rain is falling, the drip tips are working overtime. They are channeling the chaos of the storm into a billion orderly streams. Visualize a slow-motion close-up of a drip tip. It is a luscious, dark green point. A clear bead of water hangs from it, trembling. Inside the bead, the entire forest is reflected upside down. The bead grows heavy. It stretches into a teardrop shape. It creates a thin neck of water. And then, snap. The neck breaks. The sphere falls. The tip bounces up, relieved of the weight. Boing. It is a tiny, joyful movement. Multiply this by 1 trillion, and you have the vibration of the rainforest during a storm. The whole forest is nodding. The whole forest is keeping time. The dampening. As the rain is a wall that separates you from the rest of the world. Nothing can reach you here. The predator is hiding. The prey is hiding. The forest has paused all business to deal with the water. There is only the falling. There is only the drinking earth. There is only the tap 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 of the drip tips, counting you down into sleep. The symphony is playing its second movement. It is a slow movement. Adagio. The water is heavy. The eyelids are heavy. The green world is dissolving into gray. Let the rain fall. Let the forest drink. Let the silence hold you. You are safe in the dampening. You are safe in the flow. Chapter 5, The Realm of Eternal Twilight. We continue our descent. We leave the dripping, rhythmic world of the canopy, where the rain beats its steady drum and the leaves wrestle for the sky. We drift downwards, passing through the tangled vines and the hanging gardens, deeper into the interior of the cathedral. As we descend, the world grows darker. The bright, chaotic energy of the upper floors fades away. The noise of the wind disappears. The air becomes thicker, heavier, and stiller. We have arrived in the understory. This is the realm of eternal twilight. It is a place where time seems to stop. In the world of humans, we are ruled by the clock, by the rising sun, the noon glare, and the setting moon. But here, in the deep midsection of the forest, it is always late afternoon. It is always that quiet, heavy hour before dusk. The light is dim, the mood is somber, and the peace is absolute. The filtered light. To understand this realm, we must first look at the light. Or rather, the lack of it. Above us, the canopy acts as a massive, living shield. It intercepts 98% of the sunlight that hits the earth. It creates a roof so thick that the sun is merely a rumor to the creatures living down here. Only 2% of the light filters through. But this light is special. It is not the harsh, white radiation of the sun. It has been processed. It has passed through 1,000 filters of chlorophyll. It has bounced off the waxy cuticle of a rubber tree, passed through the translucent frond of a fern, and been scattered by the mist. What remains is a soft, glowing luminescence. It is a deep, underwater green. Imagine walking into a room where the curtains are drawn on a sunny day. The room is not dark, it is filled with a soft, diffused glow that creates no shadows. That is the light of the understory. It is the most soothing light in the natural world. It signals to the optic nerve that there is no need to squint, no need to focus, no need to be alert. The high-contrast world of danger is gone. Everything here is soft-edged. In this twilight, the colors are muted. You will not find the bright reds and yellows of the canopy flowers here. Here, the palette is restricted to the calming tones of the earth, moss green, olive, sepia, ochre, and deep brown. Occasionally, the wind moves the canopy far above, and a sun fleck, a single, concentrated beam of pure sunlight, pierces the gloom. Watch this beam. It stands out like a solid pillar of gold in the dusty air. It illuminates a single patch of the forest floor, spotlighting a fallen leaf or a patch of fungus. Dust motes dance in the beam, spiraling in the slow currents of heat. It is a momentary revelation. A reminder of the fire in the sky. But then, the canopy closes again. The beam vanishes. The green gloom rushes back in to fill the space. This darkness is not frightening. It is a protective cloak. It feels like being wrapped in heavy velvet. The forest is pulling the shades down for you. It is dimming the lights in the theater. It is telling you that the show is over, and it is time to rest. The eyes relax. The pupils dilate, drinking in the soft gloom. The visual noise of the world is turned down to a whisper. There is nothing here to distract you. There is only the green, and the shadow of the green. The stillness of the air. As we settle into this twilight, we notice something else. The air has changed texture. In the emergent layer, the wind was a constant companion. It ruffled the hair and cooled the skin. But here, in the understory, the wind is dead. This is the zone of stagnation. And while that word sounds negative in our modern world, here it is a blessing. The dense vegetation on all sides acts as a barrier. It creates a friction that stops the air from moving. The atmosphere here is locked in place. It is stable. Breathe in. The air is heavy. It is humid. It is warm. It feels like a physical embrace. It wraps around your skin like a warm, wet towel. It is a weighted blanket made of atmosphere. Because the air does not move, the temperature remains incredibly consistent. It does not spike in the day, it does not plummet at night. It hovers in a permanent, tropical warmth. This stability allows the body to let go of its thermal regulation. You do not need to shiver, you do not need to seek shelter. The air itself is the shelter. In this stillness, scents linger. The perfume of a vanilla orchid, blooming on a vine 50 feet away, hangs in the air for hours. The earthy scent of the soil, the musk of the damp bark, the sweetness of rotting fruit, they all mix together into a thick, intoxicating incense. The stillness is so profound that you can feel your own heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. It slows down to match the rhythm of the forest. Without the wind to stimulate the skin, the nervous system begins to power down. The sensory input drops. You are floating in a warm, dark tank. This stillness creates a unique acoustic environment. Without the wind rushing through leaves, the background noise floor drops to almost zero. When a leaf falls here, you hear it. Click, swish, tap. You hear it detach. You hear it brush against a branch on the way down. You hear it land on the soft carpet of the floor. It is a singular event. It emphasizes the silence rather than breaking it. The stillness of the understory is a form of suspension. It feels as though the forest is holding its breath, waiting for something. It creates a sense of anticipation, but not anxiety. It is the anticipation of sleep. Imagine yourself standing there, perfectly still. The air is not moving past you, you are part of the air. You are a statue in the garden. The humidity settles on your shoulders. The warmth seeps into your muscles. You are held in the warm, heavy hand of the earth. The weight. The understory is not empty. It is crowded with life. But it is a specific kind of life. It is the life of the sapling. Look around you. Rising from the dark floor are thousands of thin, slender trunks. They are young trees, mahogany, kapok, fig, that are waiting for their chance. They are the children of the shadows. These trees live a life of extreme patience. Because the light is so low, they cannot grow fast. They cannot afford to waste energy. So, they enter a state of dormancy. They grow only an inch or two a year. They produce large, broad leaves, much larger than the leaves in the canopy, to catch every stray photon of light that filters down. They hold these leaves out flat, like solar panels, perfectly horizontal. And then, they wait. They are waiting for a gap. They are waiting for a giant to fall. It might take 10 years. It might take 50 years. It might take a century. One day, a storm will come. The wind will blow. An old tree in the canopy will snap and crash to the ground, tearing a hole in the ceiling. Suddenly, a shaft of pure, white sunlight will hit the forest floor. That is the signal. The sapling will wake up. It will race upwards, fueled by the new light, growing feet in a week, fighting to reach the gap before the others. But until that day comes, the sapling simply exists. There is a profound lesson in this. The sapling is not frustrated. It is not anxious about its lack of growth. It does not compare itself to the giants above. It understands that its current task is simply to be. To survive in the understory, one must master the art of doing nothing. This is the yoga of the forest. It is the ability to conserve energy, to slow the metabolism, to rest in the darkness without fear. Visualize these millions of young trees standing around you. They are the monks of the forest. They are standing in meditation. They are alive, they are aware, but they are utterly still. They teach us that waiting is not a waste of time. It is a valid state of existence. In our lives, we are often told to rush, to achieve, to climb. We are told to reach the canopy now. But the understory tells us, no. Stay here. Rest here. Your time will come. But for now, just breathe. Feel the solidarity of the saplings. You are standing among friends who understand the value of rest. There is no pressure here. The darkness hides your responsibilities. The stillness stops your momentum. The filtered light softens your focus. You are in the waiting room of the world. But it is a beautiful waiting room. Look at the leaves of the saplings. They are dark, glossy green. They are cool to the touch. They hang still in the humid air. They are not striving. They are accepting. Acceptance. That is the word of the understory. Accept the dark. Accept the quiet. Accept the pause. The forest is not going anywhere. The trees are not going anywhere. You do not need to go anywhere. Allow yourself to sink into this deep, vegetative patience. Let your own internal clock slow down until it matches the geological clock of the tree. A minute means nothing. An hour means nothing. You have nowhere to be. The sun is blocked. The day is suspended. You are safe in the eternal twilight. You are safe in the pause. Drift deeper into the gloom. The green is turning to black. The forms of the trees are blurring. The saplings are watching over you, silent sentinels of the wait. They have stood here for decades. They can stand for one more night. And you can stand with them. Or better yet, you can lie down. The air will hold you. The twilight will hide you. The wait is over. Rest. Chapter 6, The Velvet Floor. We have descended through the roof of the world. We have floated in the mists of the cloud forest, swayed in the winds of the emergent layer, swum through the green ocean of the canopy, and drifted down through the still, heavy twilight of the understory. Now, finally, our feet touch the ground. We have arrived at the foundation. We are standing on the floor of the cathedral. In most forests, the ground is hard. It is rock, or dry dirt, or tangled roots that trip the traveler. But here, in the ancient rainforest, the ground is different. It is not a surface you stand on, it is a surface you sink into. This is the velvet floor. It is the darkest place in the forest, receiving less than 1% of the sunlight. But it is also the richest. It is the womb of the jungle. It is the place where everything ends, and therefore, the place where everything begins. The carpet of decomposition. Take a step. Hush. There is no sound. In the autumn woods of the north, leaves crunch. They are dry, brittle skeletons that snap under boots. But here, the leaves never dry out. They fall from the canopy 200 feet above, fluttering down through the humid air, landing softly on the pile of millions that came before them. They remain soft. They remain wet. They turn into a slick, colorful mosaic of decay. Look at the ground beneath you. It is a tapestry. There are the giant, brown leather leaves of the mahogany. There are the delicate, lacy yellow fronds of the ferns. There are the red petals of a bromeliad flower that fell yesterday. Together, they form a layer of organic matter that can be feet thick. This is the leaf litter. But let us call it by its true name, the sponge. This layer is soft, springy, and forgiving. If you were to lie down on it, it would contour to the shape of your back. It would hold you like a memory foam mattress made of history. It is damp. Always damp. Press your hand into the leaves. You can feel the moisture rising up, cool, dark water that has been trapped there for weeks. This dampness is the secret to the floor's silence. The water acts as a lubricant and a dampener. Step, sink. Step, sink. Walking here is a meditation. You cannot rush, for the ground is uneven and soft. You must move with the slow, deliberate pace of the jaguar. And as you disturb the leaves, you release the scent. We smelled it faintly in the upper layers, but down here, it is powerful. It is the smell of humus. Not the food, but the dark, organic soil. It is a heavy, musk-like perfume. It smells of mushrooms, wet wood, and deep thyme. To the primitive part of the human brain, this smell is comforting. It signals safety. It signals fertility. It is the smell of the earth digesting itself. This decomposition creates a subtle warmth. The chemical breakdown of the leaves releases heat. If you were to bury your hands in the leaf litter on a cool night, it would feel warm, like a living body. The floor is a blanket in the truest sense. It covers the mineral rock of the earth with a layer of softness. It protects the roots. It holds the water. Visualize yourself lying on this velvet floor. The canopy is so far above you it looks like a different planet. The understory saplings stand around you like pillars. You are at the absolute bottom of the gravity well. There is nowhere left to fall. You are grounded. You are held. The earth is solid beneath the softness, and it is not going anywhere. The invisible web. But the leaves on the surface are just the skin. To understand the true magic of the rainforest floor, we must look deeper. We must use the eyes of the imagination to look underground. Peel back the layer of wet leaves. Peel back the dark, crumbling soil. What do you see? You see a white lace. You see billions of tiny, microscopic threads running through the earth like a nervous system. This is the mycorrhizal network. Science has dubbed it the Wood Wide Web. It is a symbiotic partnership between the roots of the trees and a vast, underground kingdom of fungi. It is one of the most beautiful and reassuring concepts in nature. It teaches us that in the forest, no tree is alone. Visualize the threads. They are called hyphae. They are finer than a human hair, yet they stretch for thousands of miles. In a single teaspoon of this soil, there can be miles of fungal threads. They connect the trees. The giant kapok tree on your left is connected to the mahogany tree on your right. They are holding hands under the earth. And they are not just holding hands, they are talking. They are sharing. When a large tree in the sunlight produces excess sugar through photosynthesis, it sends the extra fuel down its trunk, into its roots, and hands it over to the fungus. The fungus, in turn, acts as a courier. It carries the sugar through its white tubes to the sapling growing in the dark shadow nearby, the sapling that cannot make enough food for itself. The big tree feeds the small tree. The mother feeds the child. The strong feed the weak. This happens silently, constantly, beneath your feet. Feel the pulse of this network. It is a throbbing current of benevolence. The forest is not a collection of individuals fighting for survival, it is a socialist utopia. It is a single, massive superorganism that takes care of its own. There are signals passing through these wires, too. If a tree is attacked by a beetle, it sends a chemical warning signal through the fungal network. "I am under attack," it whispers. The neighboring trees receive the message and boost their own immune systems, producing toxins in their leaves to repel the invader. They look out for each other. As you lie on the velvet floor, imagine that you can feel this hum of connection. You are lying on top of the world's largest internet, but instead of carrying data and stress, it carries sugar and warnings and support. It creates a profound sense of belonging. You are not an isolated entity here. You are resting on a mesh of connection. The roots embrace the earth, and the fungus embraces the roots. It is a hug that goes down for 20 feet. It is a system of stability that prevents the giant trees from falling over in the storms. They are tied together. If one holds, they all hold. Let this knowledge soothe you. You do not have to stand alone. You do not have to hold yourself up. The network is there. The connections are invisible, but they are real. The recyclers. On the surface of the velvet floor, amidst the fallen leaves and the quiet shadows, a slow-motion alchemy is taking place. This is the work of the recyclers. In the human world, we fear waste. We fear things breaking down. We see a fallen tree or a rotting fruit as something sad, something finished. But the rainforest knows no waste. In this ecosystem, trash does not exist. Everything is food for something else. Watch the army of the floor. First, the leafcutter ants. They are the farmers of the forest. Look closely at the trail near your boot. A river of green is flowing over the brown leaves. Millions of tiny red ants are marching in a line, each carrying a fragment of a fresh green leaf above its head like a banner. March, march, march. They are silent. They are focused. They are carrying the energy of the canopy down into the dark. They do not eat the leaves, they take them into their underground cities and use them to grow a fungus, a mushroom garden, which they then eat. They are turning the sun into soil. Watch the beetles. A rhinoceros beetle, encased in an armor of iridescent gold and green, moves slowly over a fallen log. It is a tank. It pushes through the rotting wood, chewing, digesting, breaking down the hard cellulose that the tree took centuries to build. It is unlocking the nutrients. It is releasing the nitrogen and the carbon back into the system. And finally, the fungus. Look at the fallen log. It is covered in shelf mushrooms, fan-shaped, striped with orange and brown. They are beautiful, like coral growing on a reef. They are the great digesters. They are doing the work that no animal can do. They are dissolving the wood with enzymes, turning the solid trunk back into soft earth. This process is slow. It happens at a pace that is almost geological. A giant tree falls. It might take 50 years for it to disappear completely. But every day, it is becoming less tree and more forest. There is a peace in watching this dissolution. It removes the fear of endings. In the rainforest, death is not a full stop, it is a comma. The fallen tree becomes the nurse log. A seed lands on the soft, rotting wood of the ancestor. It sprouts. Its roots go down into the decomposing trunk, drinking the nutrients of the parent. The new life rises directly out of the old life. This is the cycle of return. As you rest on the floor, you are witnessing the engine of eternity. Nothing is lost. The water returns to the sky. The leaf returns to the soil. The wood returns to the earth. It is a closed loop of perfection. The recyclers are the caretakers of this loop. They are the janitors of God. They keep the forest clean. They ensure that the path is clear for the next generation. There is no clutter here. There is only the slow, steady transformation of matter. Crunch, chew, dissolve. It is a quiet work. It is a humble work. The velvet floor is soft because of them. It is rich because of them. Allow yourself to feel the comfort of this system. You do not need to hold on to things. You can let them fall. You can let them go. The forest will catch them. The forest will transform them. The worry you are carrying, let it drop like a dead leaf. The stress in your shoulders, let it seep into the ground. The recyclers will take it. They will turn it into something new. They will turn it into peace. The floor is waiting. It is patient. It has been here for 100 million years, catching the rain, catching the leaves, catching the light. It creates a soft place to land. You are lying at the bottom of the green ocean. The pressure is perfect. The darkness is healing. The smell is sweet. The invisible web holds you from below. The velvet carpet cushions you. The silent army cleans the world around you. You are part of the soil now. You are part of the root. Heavy. Dark. Deep. Rest on the floor of the world. There is nothing to do here but sink. Sink into the softness. Sink into the velvet. Sink. Chapter 7, The Veins of the Earth. We have walked the velvet floor. We have rested on the carpet of decomposition, feeling the hum of the fungal network beneath us. We have explored the solid, stationary architecture of the trees. But a forest this size cannot survive on stillness alone. It requires movement. It requires a circulation system. It requires blood. And so, we leave the shadows of the understory. We walk through the trees until the vegetation begins to thin. The air grows slightly cooler, slightly fresher. The smell of damp earth is replaced by the smell of wet clay and open water. We step out from the green canopy and behold the brown horizon. We have arrived at the river. It is not a stream. It is not a creek. It is a moving sea. It is the Amazon, the Congo, the Mekong. It is the aorta of the planet. Here, the forest opens its chest to reveal its heart. We are entering the chapter of the flow. We are leaving the solid ground to trust the liquid road. The slow drift. Stand on the muddy bank. The water before you is vast. In some places, it is so wide that the other side is merely a thin, dark line of calligraphy against the sky. The color of the water is the color of coffee with milk. It is a rich, opaque, creamy brown. This is not dirty water, it is white water, heavy with the gifts of the mountains. Visualize the journey of this silt. It began thousands of miles away, high in the Andes or the Himalayas, where the glaciers ground the rock into fine flour. The river has carried this dissolved mountain all this way, bringing the nutrients that will feed the forest and the ocean. It is liquid earth. We step into a small wooden canoe. It is carved from a single tree trunk, hollowed out by fire and time. It sits low in the water. We push off from the bank. Scrape, splash, float. The friction of the land is gone. We are waterborne. We move out into the main channel. And here, we surrender to the slow drift. The current captures us. It is not a violent hand, it is a massive, gentle grip. The river is moving at perhaps 3 or 4 miles per hour, the speed of a walking human. It is not rushing. It has no need to rush. It possesses the unstoppable momentum of gravity. Lie back in the canoe. Look up at the sky. You do not need to paddle. In fact, to paddle would be an insult to the river. The river knows where it is going. It is going to the sea. All you have to do is agree to go with it. Feel the sensation of being carried. This is the ultimate definition of flow. The canoe rotates slowly in the current. Turn and drift. Turn and drift. There is a silence out here on the water that is different from the silence of the forest. The forest silence is stuffed with insulation. The river silence is open. It is expansive. The only sound is the water itself. Lap, lap, lap. It is the sound of the water kissing the wooden hull of the boat. It is a rhythmic, soporific sound. Occasionally, you pass a giant log floating downstream. It is a whole tree that fell into the river weeks ago. It is traveling with you, a fellow pilgrim on the road to the ocean. A white heron stands on the log, perfectly still, watching the water pass. The river is the master of letting go. It holds on to nothing. It accepts every drop of rain, every fallen leaf, every grain of sand, and it carries them all forward. It never looks back. It never flows upstream. Allow your mind to mimic the river. Let the thoughts fall into the brown water. Watch them float away. They are drifting downstream, around the bend, out of sight. You are here, in the canoe. The thought is gone. The sun reflects off the turbid water, creating a dazzling, golden road. You are floating on liquid gold. You are floating on the timeline of the earth. The mirror world. As we drift further, the river forks. We leave the massive, brown main channel and steer the canoe into a tributary. Here, the water changes. We are leaving the white water and entering the black water. This is the realm of the Rio Negro. The water here is not muddy. It is clear, but it is dark, stained the color of strong black tea or obsidian. This is caused by tannins, chemical compounds leached from the billions of leaves rotting on the forest floor. The tannins make the water acidic. And because it is acidic, very few bacteria can grow. Mosquitoes cannot breed here. The air is clear. The water is preserved. But the most magical quality of the black water is its surface. Because it is dark and calm, it acts as a perfect, flawless mirror. Paddle deeper into the tributary. The wind dies down. The water becomes glass. Look down. What do you see? You see the sky. You see the white clouds floating in the black abyss. You see the green trees hanging upside down, reaching for a bottom that doesn't exist. The horizon line vanishes. The boundary between the air and the water dissolves. You are suspended in a sphere of green and blue. This is the mirror world. It is a disorienting, psychedelic, and profoundly beautiful experience. You feel as though you are flying. The canoe is a spaceship floating through a tunnel of vegetation. If a bird flies overhead, you see two birds, one above, one below. They fly wingtip to wingtip. This reflection creates a sense of infinite depth. The forest looks twice as tall. The sky looks twice as deep. Dip your hand into the water. Ripple. The mirror shatters for a moment. The trees wiggle. The clouds shake. Then, stillness returns. The image reforms. The black water lagoons are the eyes of the forest. They are calm, unblinking, and deep. To look into them is to look into the subconscious of the jungle. It is a place of secrets. Great fish swim beneath your reflection, the peacock bass, the arowana, gliding through the tea-colored darkness like ghosts. But you are safe in the canoe. You are floating on the surface of the illusion. This visual symmetry is deeply resting for the brain. The symmetry balances the hemispheres. Up matches down. Left matches right. The world is in order. In the mirror world, the chaos of the jungle is organized into a perfect Rorschach test. It asks nothing of you but to observe. Slide the paddle silently into the black water. Pull back gently. The canoe glides over the clouds. You are traveling through the sky. The flooded forest. The river is not a static line on a map. It breathes. It has a pulse. Every year, fed by the melting snows of the Andes and the heavy rains of the wet season, the river rises. It inhales. It rises 20, 30, sometimes 40 feet. It spills over its banks. But it does not destroy the forest, it enters it. We paddle out of the black lagoon and steer our canoe straight into the trees. We are entering the Varzea. The flooded forest. This is a landscape that belongs in a dream. Usually, fish swim in rivers and birds fly in trees. But here, the rules of biology are inverted. The river has swallowed the forest floor. We are gliding between the trunks of the trees. The water is high. We are floating at the level of the lower branches. We can reach out and touch the leaves that are usually 20 feet above a hiker's head. The forest floor, the velvet carpet we lay on in the last chapter, is now far beneath us, submerged in the silent, dark water. It is a silent, underwater woodland. Look down into the water. Instead of squirrels or deer, you see fish. This is the home of the pacu and the tambaki, fruit-eating fish. They are waiting. They are hovering around the submerged trunks, looking up. High above, a fig tree drops a fruit. Plop. The fruit hits the water. Instantly, a shadow rises from the deep. Gulp. The fruit is gone. It is a surreal connection between the canopy and the river. The fish are pruning the trees. And then, a sound breaks the stillness. A soft exhale. Pft. You look to your left. A pink curve breaks the surface of the black water. It is a boto, the pink river dolphin. It is a creature of legend. It is blind, navigating this underwater maze with echolocation. It moves with a grace that defies its size. It slips between the trees, hunting, playing, living its secret life in the flooded woods. It surfaces again, its gray-pink skin shining in the dappled sunlight. It looks at you with a small, unblinking eye. Then it slips back under. To be in the flooded forest is to be in a place where boundaries are fluid. The land has become water. The water has become a home for the trees. There is no shore. There is no solid ground. There is only the endless, silent drift through the pillars of wood. The acoustic dampening here is even stronger than on land. The water absorbs the sound from below, and the canopy absorbs the sound from above. You are sandwiched between two layers of silence. The canoe glides over a submerged log. You can see the moss still growing on it, swaying in the current like green hair. This seasonal flood is a cleansing. The river washes the forest floor. It brings new silt, new nutrients. It redistributes the seeds. When the water recedes in a few months, the land will be reborn, fertilized and rich. But for now, the water owns the land. Rest your paddle across your knees. Let the canoe drift until it gently bumps against the trunk of a massive rubber tree. Thud. A soft, hollow sound. Hold on to the bark. Anchor yourself here for a moment. You are floating in the middle of a miracle. You are in the veins of the earth. The water around you is the same water that falls as rain, that rises as mist, that flows in the blood of the jaguar. It is the universal solvent. Feel the coolness rising from the surface of the river. It cools the underside of the canoe. It cools your back. The river is rocking you. The forest is watching you. The reflection is holding you. You are flowing. You are fluid. You are not stuck. Like the river, you are moving towards the great, wide ocean. But there is no rush. The ocean will wait. Just drift. Drift through the mirror. Drift through the trees. Drift. Chapter 8, The Awakening of the Shadow. The river has carried us through the day. We have drifted under the burning sun of the emergent layer and floated through the mirrored halls of the flooded forest. But now, the great golden engine in the sky is running out of fuel. The shadows of the kapok trees are lengthening, stretching across the water like long, dark fingers. The green cathedral is preparing for its daily transformation. In the human world, nightfall is often seen as a time of closing down. We lock our doors, we turn off our machines, we retreat. But in the rainforest, nightfall is not an ending. It is a shift change. It is the opening of a second world that exists perfectly superimposed over the first. We are entering the chapter of the dark. We are entering the awakening of the shadow. Do not fear this darkness. In the city, darkness is the absence of light. But here, darkness is a presence. It is a substance. It is a thick, velvet cloak that is pulled gently over the canopy to protect the life inside. It is the cool hand of the mother placed on the forehead of the earth. The shift in the choir. The first signal of the night is not visual, it is auditory. For the last 12 hours, the forest has been filled with the sounds of the day shift. The scream of the macaw. The chatter of the monkey. The buzz of the pollinating bee. These are sharp, erratic, individual sounds. They are the sounds of business, of travel, of argument. But as the light turns from green to gold, and from gold to a deep, bruising purple, the day shift clocks out. The parrots fly in pairs to their roosting trees, squawking their final goodnights. The monkeys curl up in the forks of the high branches, wrapping their tails around themselves like furry blankets. Then, there is a moment of profound silence. This is the green pause. It lasts only for a few minutes. It is the gap between the movements of the symphony. The forest holds its breath. The curtain is down. And then, the night shift begins. Click. It starts with a single cricket. A steady, rhythmic tick. Click, click, click. Then, a second one joins. Then 1,000. Then 1,000,000. The sound swells. It does not come from one place, it comes from everywhere. It comes from the leaf litter, from the bark, from the canopy, from the air itself. We are listening to the great insect chorus. These are the cicadas and the katydids. They are the violin section of the orchestra. They produce a high-frequency drone that is so constant, so unbroken, that after a few minutes, your brain stops registering it as noise and begins to register it as silence. It becomes a texture in the air. Z-z-z-z-z-z-z-z-z-z-z-z-z. It is a wall of sound. And like the acoustic dampening of the rain, this wall of sound is a shield. It blocks out the intrusive thoughts of the waking mind. It gives the consciousness something to surf on. But the insects are just the background. Now, the percussion section arrives. The frogs. The rainforest is the kingdom of the amphibians. And at night, they sing. Listen to the variety. There is the tiny glass frog, translucent and fragile, making a sound like a high-pitched bell. Ting, ting. There is the tree frog, perched on a wet leaf, making a sound like a drop of water falling into a bucket. Plop, plop. There is the giant cane toad, hiding in the roots, adding a deep, resonant bass note. Ribbit, from. This is not a chaotic noise. It is a complex, interlocking rhythm. Each species has its own frequency, its own tempo. They fit together like the gears of a clock. It is a hypnotic, pulsing beat. From, ting, zzz, plop. From, ting, zzz, plop. It sounds like the heartbeat of the planet. Allow this sound to wash over you. It is loud, yes, but it is not aggressive. It is the sound of life asserting itself in the dark. It is a lullaby that has been sung for 100 million years. The choir is singing you to sleep. They are telling you that the forest is awake so that you don't have to be. The sentries are posted. The watch is set. You can let go. The cooling. As the choir swells, the atmosphere undergoes a physical change. The sun, the great heater, has vanished below the rim of the world. The solar harvest is over. Now, the forest begins to exhale the heat of the day. We are entering the cooling. This is one of the most pleasurable sensations in the tropics. During the day, the heat can be heavy, pressing against the skin. But the moment the sun drops, the temperature begins to slide. It drops from 85 degrees to 80. From 80 to 75. It is a slow, delicious descent. Feel the air touching your skin now. It is no longer a hot towel, it is a cool silk sheet. It carries a freshness that wasn't there at noon. This cooling triggers a chemical change in the air. As the temperature drops, the humidity, which was held as invisible vapor during the heat of the day, begins to condense. The mist is born. It starts on the forest floor, rising from the damp leaf litter like a ghost. It curls around the roots of the buttress trees. It drifts over the surface of the blackwater lagoons. This is the breath of the earth becoming visible. The mist acts as a diffuser. It softens the hard edges of the trees. It blurs the distance. If you were to look through the forest now, you would see only shapes and shadows, fading into a wall of white and gray fog. The smell of the forest changes, too. The heat of the day evaporates the volatile oils of the leaves, the sharp, spicy scents. But the cool of the night brings out the heavy, sweet scents. The night-blooming flowers open. The jasmine of the jungle. The moonflowers. They release a perfume that is thick, sugary, and intoxicating. It is a scent designed to attract moths in the dark. Breathe it in. It is the smell of cool water, wet stone, and white flowers. It clears the sinuses. It cools the throat. This drop in temperature is the biological signal for rest. Your body knows this language. When the skin cools, the heart rate slows. When the mist rises, the eyelids droop. The forest is tucking you in. It is adjusting the thermostat to the perfect setting for sleep. Imagine yourself lying in a hammock strung between two trees in this cooling air. You are suspended above the velvet floor. The mist is drifting underneath you, cooling your back. The canopy above is trapping the last warmth of the day, keeping you from getting too cold. You are in the perfect thermal pocket. Not hot. Not cold. Just right. The living lights. The darkness is now absolute. The canopy is so thick that it blocks the starlight. The moon is hidden behind the clouds of the flying river. If you were to hold your hand in front of your face, you would not see it. This is a darkness that is rare in our modern world. It is the deep black. But as your eyes adjust to this deprivation, something magical happens. The ground begins to star. We are used to looking up to see the stars. But in the rainforest, the stars are on the floor. We are witnessing bioluminescence. The living lights. It starts with the fungi. Look at the rotting log a few feet away. In the daylight, it was just brown, decaying wood. But in the dark, it is glowing with a ghostly, neon green light. This is foxfire. It is the chemical magic of the Messina mushrooms. They contain a molecule called luciferin, the light bringer. When it reacts with oxygen, it produces a cold, steady light. It creates a pathway through the dark. A faint, emerald map etched onto the forest floor. And then, the moving stars appear. Fireflies. But not just fireflies. There are click beetles with two glowing headlights on their backs that look like tiny embers. There are larvae that glow blue in the leaf litter. Watch them. They are tiny sparks of consciousness floating in the void. Flash, darkness. Flash, darkness. They drift through the understory, weaving between the saplings. They trace slow, lazy loops in the air. It looks as if the Milky Way has fallen from the sky and shattered, scattering its diamonds throughout the trees. This light is soft. It does not hurt the eyes. It does not break the melatonin cycle. It is a light that invites dreams. There is a sense of wonder in this display. Why do they glow? They glow to find each other. They glow to say, I am here. In the vast, overwhelming darkness of the jungle, they are tiny beacons of connection. The forest is a mirror of the cosmos. The canopy is the dark matter. The beetles are the stars. The river is the void. You are floating in the middle of space. The combination of the sensory inputs is overpowering in its gentleness. The sound, a rhythmic, humming choir of crickets and frogs. The feeling, a cool, misty caress on the skin. The sight, a pitch-black void punctuated by slow-moving green stars. It is a sensory deprivation tank built by nature. The anxiety of the visual world fades because there is nothing to see. The brain stops trying to analyze shapes and distances. It surrenders to the abstract. You are no longer a person standing in a forest. You are a point of awareness in the dark. The shadow has awakened, but it is not a shadow of fear. It is a shadow of rest. The day is the time of burning. The night is the time of healing. The forest has wrapped you in its thickest blanket. It has turned on the night light of the mushrooms. It has started the lullaby of the frogs. There is nothing left to do. The day is fully gone. The sun is on the other side of the planet, waking up another forest. But here, it is your turn to sleep. Let the darkness enter you. Let the cool air settle in your lungs. Let the rhythm of the choir synchronize with your breath. From. Inhale. Ting. Exhale. From. Inhale. Ting. Exhale. You are safe in the living dark. You are safe in the green night. Chapter 9, The Sanctuary of Life. The night has fully descended. The green cathedral is draped in the heavy, velvet curtain of the dark. The bioluminescent stars we watched in the previous chapter are still glowing faintly on the forest floor, tracing the map of the fungal network. The air is cool, misty, and vibrating with the rhythmic hum of the insect choir. But now, we turn our attention away from the plants, away from the river, and away from the stars. We turn our gaze to the breathers. We are entering the sanctuary of life. The rainforest is often depicted as a place of constant action, a chaotic arena of hunting, fleeing, and fighting. But that is the daytime story. That is the story of the light. The nighttime story is different. It is a story of intimacy. It is a story of the nest, the den, and the roost. Millions of hearts are beating in this darkness. Millions of lungs are breathing the cool, oxygen-rich air. We are here to witness the great sleep. We are here to learn how the masters of nature rest. The slow sloth. High in the canopy, suspended 60 feet above the ground, hangs the true guru of the rainforest. He does not run. He does not hide. He does not fight. He simply is. He is the three-toed sloth. And he is the master of the slow life. Let us float up to his level. He is hanging upside down from a branch of a cecropia tree. His curved claws, strong as iron hooks, are locked around the wood. He does not need to use his muscles to hold on, his anatomy is designed for suspension. Even in sleep, he cannot fall. Look at him. He is a ball of coarse, gray-brown fur. But if you look closer, you will see that his fur is green. He moves so slowly, lives so quietly, that the forest has begun to claim him. Algae and moss grow on his back. He is half animal, half plant. He is a walking ecosystem. Watch him move. He reaches out a single arm to pull a leaf closer to his mouth. Reach. Grasp. The movement is so slow it is almost imperceptible. It is like watching a glacier move. It takes him a full minute to bring the leaf to his lips. In our human world, we judge speed as a virtue. We rush. We multitask. We panic if we are standing still. But the sloth teaches us a different wisdom. His metabolism is a marvel of efficiency. He burns energy at the lowest possible rate. His heart beats slowly. His digestion takes weeks. He is not lazy, he is a minimalist. He has realized that if you do not want to be stressed, you simply stop rushing. He has no predators in the canopy because he is invisible. He does not trigger the motion detectors of the hawk or the jaguar. He blends in. He becomes the branch. There is a profound peace radiating from this creature. Look at his face. He wears a permanent, slight smile. It is the smile of someone who knows a secret. He knows that there is nowhere to go. He knows that the leaf is here. The branch is here. The rain is here. Why hurry? Imagine yourself inhabiting the body of the sloth. Your limbs are heavy and hooked securely onto the world. You cannot fall. Your fur is warm and mossy. Your heart rate slows down. Thump. 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 The world rushes by below you, but you are above the rush. You are suspended in the eternal present. You are part of the tree. This is the sloth state. It is a state of total biological surrender. You stop fighting gravity and let gravity hold you. You stop fighting time and let time flow through you. He closes his eyes. He looks like a bundle of old moss. He sleeps for 15, maybe 20 hours a day. His entire life is a meditation. Rest in his presence. Feel the permission he gives you. Slow down. Slower. Slower still. Until you are just a point of awareness, hanging in the green air. The sleeping jaguar. We leave the high canopy and drift down towards the riverbank. Here, the air is cooler. The black water of the lagoon laps gently against the shore. A massive, fallen tree trunk extends out over the water, creating a natural bridge. And draped over this log is the king. The jaguar. The Anka. In the waking hours, he is a creature of terrifying power. He is muscle, tooth, and claw. He is the apex predator, the lord of the jungle. But tonight, the king is asleep. And to watch a powerful creature sleep is to witness a deep, heavy vulnerability. Look at him. He is not curled up in a tight ball like a nervous prey animal. He is sprawled. He is poured over the log like liquid gold. His paws hang loosely off the side, twitching occasionally. His tail droops into the darkness. His belly rises and falls with a deep, resonant rhythm. Inhale. The ribs expand. Exhale. A soft, guttural sigh. His coat is a masterpiece of camouflage, rosettes of black on a field of tawny gold, mimicking the play of shadow and light on the forest floor. But in the dark, he is just a heavy, warm shape. There is a concept in nature, the sleep of the just. But this is the sleep of the safe. The jaguar sleeps deeply because he fears nothing. There is nothing in this forest that can hurt him. He owns the night. And because he owns it, he can relax completely. He has let go of his vigilance. The ears that usually swivel to catch the snap of a twig are relaxed. The eyes that can spot a deer at 100 yards are closed tight. To be near him is to feel a sense of heavy, warm security. It is the feeling of a large dog sleeping at your feet, or a cat sleeping on your chest. It is a weighted presence. Visualize the weight of his limbs. They are made of dense muscle, but now they are slack. They are dead weight. Gravity is pulling him down into the wood. This is the lesson of the jaguar. True power includes the power to rest. You do not need to be alert all the time. You do not need to be guarding the perimeter all the time. You can put down the armor. You can sheath the claws. Even the king needs to recharge. Imagine you are lying next to him, in the safety of the spirit. You can feel the heat radiating from his fur. It is a furnace of life. You can hear the low, rumbling purr that vibrates in his chest, a sound that heals bones and soothes the mind. Purr. Purr. It is a sound of absolute contentment. The hunt is over. The belly is full. The territory is secure. Allow yourself to adopt the posture of the sleeping jaguar. Let your limbs hang heavy. Let your spine soften. Pour yourself over the bed like water. You are the apex of your own world. You are safe. You can sleep. The cradle. We expand our view now. We look away from the individual animals, the sloth and the jaguar, and we look at the forest as a whole. We realize that we are surrounded by a cradle. Every hollow in every tree is a bedroom. Every curled leaf is a blanket. Every burrow under the roots is a sanctuary. There are millions of beings sleeping within a mile of you right now. High in the palms, the toucans are roosting. They have turned their heads backward and tucked their massive, colorful beaks under their wings to keep them warm. They look like balls of feathers. In the hollow of a mahogany tree, a family of tamarins, tiny monkeys, are sleeping in a pile. They are entangled, limb over limb, tail over tail. They are a knot of warmth. They sleep in a huddle to share body heat and to feel the comfort of touch. On the underside of the leaves, the butterflies are hanging upside down, their wings folded, looking like dead leaves to fool predators. Deep in the earth, the armadillos are curled into armored balls in their cool, dark tunnels. The forest is a dormitory. It is a massive, multi-story building where every room is occupied by a sleeping soul. Can you feel the collective energy of this? It is the hum of life. If you could hear the heartbeats of the forest, it would sound like a drum circle. The slow, booming heart of the jaguar. The rapid, fluttering heart of the hummingbird, now in torpor, a deep hibernation-like sleep. The steady, rhythmic heart of the monkey. The slow, deliberate heart of the sloth. They create a polyrhythm of existence. You are not alone in the dark. You are part of a massive, breathing superorganism. This realization triggers a primal sense of safety. Humans are social animals. We evolved to sleep in tribes. We evolved to sleep knowing that others were around us. Here, in the Green Cathedral, the tribe is infinite. The forest is holding all of these lives in its hand. It provides the branch for the sloth. It provides the log for the jaguar. It provides the hollow for the monkey. And it provides the space for you. You are nesting. Visualize your own bed as a nest woven into this landscape. You are tucked into a secure alcove in the roots of a giant tree. The moss is your mattress. The canopy is your roof. Around you, the life of the world is resting. The aggression of the day is gone. The hunger of the day is gone. There is only the recharge. The heat of 1,000,000 bodies warms the night air slightly. It creates a thermal blanket of life. You are connected to this web. You are breathing the same air as the toucan. You are drinking the same rain as the jaguar. You are resting in the same shadow as the sloth. The sanctuary of life is open. The gates are locked to danger. The sentries of the night, the owls and the crickets, are watching over you. Feel the solidarity of the sleep. Everyone is doing it. The king is sleeping. The guru is sleeping. The family is sleeping. It is time for you to join them. Let your heart sink with the rhythm of the forest. Slow it down to the speed of the sloth. Thump. Thump. Let your muscles relax with the weight of the jaguar. Heavy. Loose. Let your mind curl up with the monkeys. Warm. Safe. You are in the cradle of the world. And the cradle is rocking. Gently. Slowly. In the dark. Chapter 10, The Deepest Root. We have reached the end of our journey through the Green Cathedral. We have floated in the midst of the flying rivers. We have climbed the swaying towers of the emergent layer. We have swum through the emerald ocean of the canopy and drifted in the twilight of the understory. We have walked the velvet floor and listened to the breathing of the sleeping jaguar. But there is one place left to go. It is a place where the sun has never shone. It is a place where the wind has never blown. It is a place where the rain does not fall, but where the water lives. We are going down. We are leaving the world of movement entirely. We are leaving the animals, the leaves, and the air. We are sinking into the solid, silent, heavy embrace of the earth itself. We are entering the realm of deep sleep. We are following the deepest root. The anchor. Stand at the base of the massive kapok tree one last time. Look at the buttress roots, those giant, wooden fins that flare out from the trunk, standing taller than a human. They are magnificent, yes. They are the feet of the giant. But they are just the surface. Beneath the center of the trunk, driving straight down into the black heart of the soil, lies the taproot. It is the anchor of the world. Visualize this root. It is a massive, woody spike, thick as a barrel, tapering to a point of iron-hard determination. While the branches reach for the chaotic, changing energy of the sky, the taproot reaches for the stillness of the core. It pushes down. Push, through the soft, decaying layer of the velvet floor. Push, through the rich, dark topsoil, teeming with invisible life. Push, through the heavy, red clay, dense and sticky. Push, down to the bedrock. To be a root is to understand the meaning of stability. In the canopy, a storm might be raging. The winds might be screaming at 60 miles per hour. The branches might be thrashing wildly, stripping leaves, bending almost to the breaking point. But down here, nothing moves. Absolutely nothing moves. The root does not feel the wind. It feels only the pressure of the earth. It is held in a vice grip of soil. It is locked in place. This is the ultimate security. The tree can dance in the wind only because the root is immovable. The higher the tree goes, the deeper the root must go. The freedom of the sky depends on the captivity of the earth. Imagine yourself shifting your consciousness into this root. Leave your head. Leave your thoughts, which are like the fluttering leaves in the wind. Drop down your spine. Drop into your hips. Drop into the ground. You are no longer light and airy. You are heavy. You are made of wood and water. You are encased in cool, dark earth. Feel the pressure of the soil against your skin. It is a comforting pressure. It holds you together. It creates a boundary. You cannot fall, because there is no space to fall. You are held on all sides. You are the anchor. Deep in this darkness, the temperature is perfectly constant. It is the temperature of a cave. Cool, preserving, eternal. The heat of the tropical sun cannot reach you here. The chill of the sudden rain cannot reach you here. You are connected to the stability of the planet. And at the very tip of the taproot, deep in the dark, you find the prize. You find the water table. This is the deep reservoir. It is not the rushing river we saw in chapter 7. It is water that sits in the pores of the rock, silent and still. It is ancient water. The root drinks this water. It pulls it in, slowly, steadily. It is a deep, cold drink that quenches a thirst you didn't know you had. Drink and hold. Drink and hold. This is the source of your strength. You are plugged into the earth. You are grounded in the most literal sense of the word. The timelessness. As we rest in the deep earth, our perception of time begins to dissolve. In the canopy, time is fast. A hummingbird beats its wings 50 times a second. A leaf opens in a day. A storm passes in an hour. But down here, in the geological layer, time is slow. The rainforest is not just a place, it is an event that has been happening for 100 million years. Think about that number. 100 million years. This forest was here when the dinosaurs walked the earth. It was here when the continents drifted apart. It was here when the ice ages came and went, shrinking the jungle and then letting it expand again. The trees change, the animals change, but the forest remains. The soil you are resting in is composed of the dust of 1 billion ancestors. It is the library of deep time. To enter this mindset is to enter the timelessness. The anxieties of your human life, the deadline next week, the argument yesterday, the plan for tomorrow, what are they in the face of this silence? They are less than a flicker of a firefly. They are dust motes in the sunbeam. The forest does not care about your schedule. And this indifference is the greatest comfort it can offer. It relieves you of the burden of importance. The root does not worry about being late. The root does not worry about success. The root knows only one thing: patience. It takes 100 years to grow a giant. Why rush? It takes 1,000 years to make an inch of soil. Why hurry? Feel the rhythm of this deep time. It is a slow, pulsing wave. Century, century, century. It is a rhythm that soothes the frantic ticking of the modern mind. It tells you that you are part of a much larger story. You are not a solitary figure fighting against time, you are a momentary expression of a timeless life force. Allow yourself to surrender to the long now. Let the clock dissolve. Let the calendar dissolve. There is no Monday. There is no Friday. There is only the earth. You are resting in the same mud that held the Tyrannosaurus. You are drinking the same water that watered the first ferns. You are safe in the continuity of existence. The forest has survived everything. Fire, flood, drought, storm. It always returns. It always regrows. It is resilient beyond measure. And because you are part of it, you are resilient too. You can sleep now, knowing that the system is robust. The world will not fall apart while you rest. The root is holding. The earth is spinning. The time is flowing like a slow, deep river. The green silence. And now, we reach the final state. The ultimate destination of our lullaby. We have anchored ourselves in the dark. We have slowed our time to the geological clock. Now, we must let the forest claim us completely. We are entering the green silence. This is the sensation of being overgrown. Imagine that you are lying so still, so deeply asleep, that the forest begins to treat you like a fallen log or a stone. First, the moss comes. It is soft, cool, and green. It begins to grow over your feet. It creeps up your legs. It covers your chest. It is not heavy, it is a blanket of pure softness. It covers you in a layer of velvet. Then, the ferns. They unfurl their fiddleheads around you. They create a screen of lace. They hide you from the world. You are disappearing into the greenery. Then, the vines. The gentle lianas wrap loosely around your arms. They anchor you to the bed. They say, stay here. Don't go back. Stay in the green. You are becoming part of the landscape. The boundary between you and the forest is erasing. Your breath becomes the wind in the leaves. Your blood becomes the sap in the veins. Your bones become the wood of the branches. Your mind becomes the silence of the soil. This is the death of the ego and the birth of the eco. The green silence is not just the absence of noise. It is the presence of peace. It is a thick, dense, fertile silence that fills every corner of your mind. The thoughts that used to scream for attention, they are overgrown. The moss has covered them. The beetles have recycled them. They are just soil now. The worries that used to keep you awake, the roots have crushed them. They are dust. There is nothing left but the sensation of being held. You are buried. But not in a grave. You are buried in a nursery. You are a seed planted in the warm, dark earth, waiting for the dream. The canopy is far above you, filtering the starlight. The rain is falling softly, a rhythmic drumbeat miles away. Tap, tap, tap. The jaguar is sleeping. The sloth is sleeping. The river is flowing. And you are the root. You are deep. You are dark. You are solid. The green cathedral has closed its doors. The sanctuary is sealed. The humidity holds you. The gravity holds you. There is no more movement. There is no more journey. We have arrived at the center. The darkness is total. The peace is absolute. You are safe in the deep earth. Let the soil cover you. Let the green silence fill you. Drift away into the fertile dark. Sink into the deepest root. Sleep. Sleep. Sleep.